Hey everybody, this is Braxton Taylor and Andrew Bolin with Jedi Eternal. So before we started today's episode, we did have a quick announcement that we wanted to give out in regards to the channel as a whole. So we have been talking about this vaguely over the past few months, but something that's kind of happened more concretely, and we're going to talk about that, is that Braxton, have taken a new job that's going to kind of take me to a completely different part of the country. And this part of the country, out in Montana, actually does not have great service out there and great internet connection. So it does kind of hurt our ability to record. So we're going to talk about it, but there's going to be a little bit more sporadicness, should I say, to Jedi Eternal. So what does that mean for this channel and this podcast as a whole? So the first thing we can say for certain is that Jedi Eternal is not going away, folks. We've been going for 4 years now, and we love doing this. We love interacting with you. Of course, we obviously love Star Wars, so we're sticking around. We're going to do our best to keep this channel going. But what we also know, though, too, as I had mentioned, there is going to be probably some delays, and it might look a little different than we've been seeing it for the past 4 years, unfortunately. So what we're going to do, well, as we go, we're going to kind of evolve our style. We're going to have some podcast episodes where I'm going to have to call in a little bit, and Andrew's going to have to take my audio, or maybe we're going to do some more live streams when I have connection, things like that. But no matter what, guys, Jedi Eternal is here to stay. We're going to keep recording. We're going to keep podcasts coming out. As new books, new shows, new movies comes out, you're going to continue hearing from us. But the positive light of this in terms of Jedi Eternal is that this job is only 6 months long. So this is not for forever, guys. But we do ask that you kind of bear with us and kind of hang out with us during our kind of hiccups and bugs for the next 6 months as we kind of navigate through this interesting new time. With that said, though, we still have one more great episode for you guys. So buckle up and enjoy the ride.
Hello there, this is Jedi General Obi-Wan Kenobi, and you are listening to Jedi Eternal.
What's up, everybody, and welcome back to Jedi Eternal. I'm one of your hosts, Andrew Bolin, alongside the world traveler himself, Braxton Taylor.
Here I am, folks.
Here he is.
Enjoy me while it lasts.
So, as you guys have already heard previously in our opening, Braxton is going on a trip. A work trip, so to speak, for a long time, and I'll be sulking in my depression. But other than that, it's all good. No, like he said, we're gonna Jedi Eternal's not going anywhere, and it's gonna take a little bit to figure it out, but it's gonna stick around. But we don't want to spend too much time on that. So enjoy hearing Braxton's quality voice while you can, because next time his voice may not be of this quality.
4K quality.
Because it will have to be like a call-in or something, and we're not sure what his internet's going to be like. So
yeah, imagine like a 1800s phonograph. Yeah. That's exactly what it's going to sound like. Hey, hello,
but yeah, so it'd be fun. It'd be fun for him, not for me.
Yeah,
but,
well, yeah, exactly.
Fun for him.
Glad we're coming into this optimistically.
Yeah. Really looking at this in a positive light.
yeah, exactly.
But we want to thank everybody for joining us today in this wonderful rainy day here in Indiana, the state of corn.
Corn.
We are doing this on an actual a different day than we normally do it.
Yes.
Again, because of the way things played out between his schedule and my schedule, and making sure we could get one last episode in. Yeah. We had to do it on a different day, so everything's kind of out of whack. One of those things being that when this episode releases for you, there will have been a new Bad Batch episode that we have not seen yet, because this is actually before Thursday. Yeah. Or wait, sorry, Wednesday. Yeah. Before Wednesday, which is when those episodes get released.
Yeah.
So we apologize for that, but
and we also apologize because I kept saying that for whatever reason.
I forgot about
the
this.
last week, instead of it being the was it third to last or whatever. I mean, I don't even. That's not even true. I don't even know at this point. I was thinking last week was the finale. I don't know why I was thinking that. And so we kept saying that.
And I just took his word for it.
Don't be like that. Okay?
I mean, it's just the truth. I just took your word for it, and then
I just figured you do your own research.
And then so
really,
then,
this is Andrew's fault. I think this is really the best.
Oh, this is my fault.
This is the best.
So then I looked later, and I was like, wait. There's 2 more. There's 3. No, it's 3 more episodes.
3 more episodes. Yeah.
So I text you, and I'm like, tomorrow. I was like, next week's not the finale.
So I was really thinking, like, man, this is gonna work out so well, but it just did not.
Yeah,
so
did not.
Yeah, apologize about that.
But don't worry, we'll talk about the finale on Jedi Eternal, in some way, shape, or form. Braxton, I don't know if Braxton will be involved at that point yet or not, because he's gonna be still kind of. Getting a hold of things there and figuring out things there, so it may take some time to adjust to all that, but we'll make sure Jedi Eternal has some kind of content for you guys on the finale of Bad Batch for the 2 people that care about the show.
Andrew will have a handwritten letter sent out to all of our subscribers.
I will write a handwritten letter, and you won't be able to read it because my handwriting's horrible.
It's really bad.
But we do want to remind you guys about our Patreon. We have shout outs to everyone that is a part of our Patreon. We also you get the episodes early, usually 2 days early, and you also get access to a completely other podcast called And Other Stuff. I messed that up.
Cut that from the record.
Cut that one from the record. No, it's our other podcast called And Other Stuff, and we actually just did one of those.
We did, yes.
Last week?
I believe so.
So there's a fresh one on there for you guys. So
yes.
If maybe you only subscribe every once in a while when we have new ones or whatever, then now would be the time to join.
There's one out there.
There's one out there, and we talk about a variety of things, including some newer movies and some games we've been playing and etc. So it's a good time. Recommend you check it out. But we do want to go ahead and say a big thank you to our producers, and that is JB, Josh and Birkinshaw, Tara Bolin, Grayson David Gill, Alex Mason, Corey Wise, Jay Camdar, Jenna, Caleb Luna, and Alex. So we thank all of you so much. We really appreciate it. And it does make a difference for us. It really does.
Absolutely.
So let's go ahead and jump into this week in Star Wars.
Whoa.
Oh, I'm so
completely cutting off my segment here, buddy. He's already trying to get rid of me, folks. What's going on here? He's just like, oh, I'm so sad, and he's going to cut me out of my own episode.
I'm just getting used to it. I'm just getting used to you not being here. Okay?
Well, not yet. I saw you roll. Well, anyway...
Sorry.
As we have done in season 2, we try to give out a few fun facts and some trivia. So unfortunately, I cannot find my stinking book anywhere for fun facts. So I'm gonna have to pull some from the interwebs. But
what could you have possibly done with that book?
I don't know. I take out my I use that backpack for different things. So I don't know. Usually I'm pretty good about putting it back in there, but I don't know where it's at. So anyway.
Embarrassing.
So, with that said, I'm pulling some from the interwebs. So, the first one is called "The word Ewok is never actually spoken out loud in the films." So, we all know that what to call the furry creatures of Endor, and most people would probably assume we heard the word from our favorite protocol droid C-3PO. Turns out it's another piece of popular culture that we've been remembering incorrectly. However, the word does appear in the final credits of The Return of the Jedi, which is very interesting. I know it's such a kind of iconic, species in Star Wars that we know so well now. And I guess come to find out, we just never really heard what they were called in the movies.
That's pretty crazy.
It is pretty crazy. Yeah. So, any of you aficionados, go and fact check that.
Yeah, because we totally didn't.
Yeah, we didn't.
We didn't fact check
I just figured to keep you guys on your toes,
on your toes.
Catch us in our lies.
Yeah, catch us. We dare you.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think you guys will, frankly. So, the second we're going to talk about today is it took 3 hours to film, and that is one of the most recognizable movie introductions in history. Would take no time at all to mock up with today's technology. But back in 1977, when making A New Hope, the opening crawl effect was created by using 2-foot wide yellow letters over a 6-foot black paper background. A camera was then used to make a slow sweeping pass overhead, and the result gave us the crawl we've come to expect in all the movies, which took 3 hours to film.
Wowza.
Yeah, and it is kind of funny. It's that, again, that practical effect versus kind of the CGI technical effects that we have today. We like that's just said. We could make that in like 2 seconds, today's technology. But
Right.
yeah, very interesting to see the kind of the work and effort that gets put in there. So that is your fun fact of the week. So we're going to get into our trivia question, and that trivia question is, what element was Han Solo frozen in? What element was Han Solo frozen in? So, think about it, ruminate it, put it in the comments, and we'll come back at the end of this episode to let you know what the answer is. So, take it away in the next segment, Andrew.
Now, this week in Star Wars,
Yeah.
we are going to go straight into a very interesting one here, and that is that Beau Willimon is to co-write James Mangold's movie. So, Beau here is from House of Cards. That's one of his most notorious things. And that was... never watched House of Cards, but I know it was considered to be...
critical success or whatever. Yeah.
So that's encouraging. But this is, for those of you who maybe have forgotten what we believe to be what James Mangold is directing, is Star Wars Dawn of the Jedi.
Yes.
Which is tracing the origins of the Force, set 25,000 years before any of the current Star Wars that we have. The original Dawn of the Jedi story in Legends was essentially showed how Jedi came about and how Sith came about, the whole shebang. So, so we expect that to be pretty cool. And there is, so we know that Mandalorian and Grogu is releasing May 22nd, 2026.
Yes.
And so with that, there is one more movie that's supposed to be coming out in December. And so the question is this possibly that movie, or do we still believe that that's going to be the Rey movie?
Yeah, it's a good question. It's definitely a good question. Because I know there was confusion on who the director is going to be and all this different stuff, so it's hard to tell. And that's the problem, right? And we've talked about this before with Star Wars movies. It's like, at this point, it's hard, we don't even know. We don't even know what's going to come out, when it's going to come out.
Yeah.
Because we said this for a long time, like, give us a roadmap. And so we do have a lot more details now about what we're going to get, but it's still so loose in the, ether there,
Yeah, and so what I will say is what is most encouraging about this news for us as Star Wars fans is this isn't actually his first time attached to a Star Wars project. Beau was also worked on season 1 of Andor, and he wrote 3 episodes, specifically the prison breakout One Way Out, which is without a doubt the best part of Andor.
Yeah.
So he's the one that would have wrote the heartbreaking "I Can't Swim," so that's really encouraging to know he's in the part of this project, and I think that that's a good sign for this movie.
Yeah.
And so we'll see what happens.
Yeah. Excited to see what that comes about there. So our second piece of news this week is that Star Wars Outlaws releases a new story trailer, which, of course, as we know, Star Wars Outlaws is the open world Star Wars game featuring, let's see here, Kay Vess as during the golden age, quote unquote, of Outlaws in the Star Wars universe, of course, set in between the events of Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi. But they did put out a new story trailer. But Drew, what do we have on that one?
Yeah, so we know that Kay is an up-and-coming bounty hunter, and she's trying to establish a name for herself. She's given a very personal mission that will test her abilities to the limit. She starts off as a nobody, but will soon rise through the ranks of several criminal organizations. Crimson Dawn gets name-dropped in the trailer, which also shows off a bit of Jabba the Hutt. So,
Nice.
a couple of different things there that we recognize. We've also seen Han Solo in it. This game takes place in between The Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi.
Mm.
Some other things that information we've gathered is that Kira will be in this.
Yeah, very cool.
They did say that Emilia Clarke will not be returning for the role, but but the character of Kira will be a part of the game, which makes sense since Crimson Dawn is here, and as we know in the timeline, Kira would be currently over that,
Right.
and so you're going to have Jabba Hutt, of course, and Crimson Dawn, and a couple other clans, Pike Syndicate. There's also, I think, a new group that they've created just for this game.
Yeah.
And so, from what I understand, is you will be able to create, or not create, but hurt and help your affiliation with each one of the syndicates.
Yeah.
So depending on what you do and how you do it, you can become closer to certain syndicates and become more of an enemy to other ones. So that seems pretty interesting to me, and we know that they even have space travel as well in this game, and so they're doing a lot.
They're doing a lot. Yeah.
They're doing a lot, but they've also not shown a whole lot.
Yeah.
And
which is a little worrying.
Yeah. There's also Sabacc in this. Supposedly, you're actually going to be able to play it, which is
cool.
something
That's
that
cool.
people have wanted to do. And so there's a lot of things you can do. It definitely, I look at this as very much the typical Ubisoft style gameplay within Star Wars, right? And so what I mean by that is, think of Far Cry or Assassin's Creed, but insert Star Wars.
Right. Yeah.
So depending on how you feel about that, if you love that, I think for Braxton, I think you're going to be all about it because you love that style of gameplay.
Yeah. Now the problem is I do like the gameplay itself, but what has been an area of contention now that this trailer has dropped, because it can drop with some further information, is Ubisoft is pulling a classic Ubisoft, and so naturally they're going to have a season pass for static single player game. Why not? But then furthermore, one of the big things that people are frustrated about is that it's not just cosmetics that's going to be in the season pass. They're immediately dropping a DLC story called Jabba's Gambit. So basically the only, from my understanding, and this is why I think people are getting mad, don't quote me on this exactly, but one of the main missions that you're going to deal with Jabba is only located in the DLC, which you can only get if you get Season Pass.
So people have been throwing a fit over the idea that Jabba was only accessible through that. They have said that Jabba is in the main story.
Okay, good.
So the DLC mission that you can purchase is just an additional stuff with Jabba.
Gotcha.
Jabba will still be in the main story. So I think that makes me feel a little better about it. I would have also been like, wow, okay, really? Someone
Right.
as loved and known as Jabba, and you're going to lock it behind, I think that would have been pretty dirty. I'm still not a huge fan of the idea of but Ubisoft pretty much always does it. Even with Assassin's Creed, they always have a mission that they lock behind you purchasing, a special edition.
Which unfortunately is indicative of today's garbage AAA market of video games, but it is unfortunately what we have to deal with.
And so I think that let's see, it's a $70 game, right? And then I think the next purchase is what, like $100 for the next up edition,
Something
which
like that,
comes with the DLC, like the expansion pass or whatever. And then I think there's a $120 version that includes some DLC skins where you can have an outfit that looks more like Han Solo's and one looks more like
Kessel
Lando
Run
or
pack
something like
or
that.
whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. So they may get me on the $100 one, even though that's just sounds absolutely insane. But
Pay $100 for a video game.
but if it's if it ends up being a really good game, which we'll see what the reviews say. I won't buy it until I know what the reviews say. But
right.
if it's a good game and there's gonna be more story, I mean, it's gonna save me money to do it that way still than it will be for me to buy the DLC for $40 later. So it's $10 cheaper.
True. Yeah, but then again, I my thought with that is by the time that I get through the campaign, I've thoroughly explored the world, it very well may have a drop in price on a sale at some point.
Maybe.
You know what I'm saying?
That's true.
And that might not be the case. I don't know. But just
I mean,
dropping $100 on a game at one
crazy.
time is just insane to me.
It is insane, but that is the world we live in. Like most games, you get a base game that, of course, locks content. You don't have all the content for still a crazy $70.
Yeah.
And then, but if you want everything, you're probably going to dish out $100, and that's just kind of seems to be the case with pretty much most games at this point.
Yeah.
Especially really big games like Call of Duty and stuff. They always do it now. It's like, so yeah, it's rough out there. It's rough out there, folks. So
yeah,
truly.
Save
your pennies. Save your pennies if you want to play play the games.
Just if you have kids, maybe skip a meal with them.
Yeah, you could tell them, that
we're playing a game.
Sorry, we're playing a game. You can't have.
It's called Who Can Eat Not Eat the Longest. And kids get real competitive about that kind of stuff, folks. So
it's got really dark.
This is the world we live in, folks. I don't know what to tell you.
Do you want to play Star Wars games or not?
Come on, you have to make sacrifices here. So anyway, we'll back out of that before we get flagged.
All right, yeah, let's just move on now.
Yeah. So anyway,
moving on to our next story today, and that is that 2 more covers have been revealed for the High Republic Phase 3 books. So we know we have Temptation of the Force by Tessa Gratton coming June 11th, but also after that we do have a new young adult and middle grade novel that will be released, and that's what we got the covers for. So Beware the Nameless by Zoraida Cordova hits shelves on August 27th. It will follow up on the events of Escape from Valo, and so it's got obviously the Nameless is going to be a big part of that story. I don't know if we talked about it on here, but Escape from Valo I rated pretty low, if I remember correctly.
Womp womp.
So I can't say I'm super stoked about this one either.
Yeah.
But hey, prove me wrong. Prove me wrong.
Yeah, it's nice to be proven wrong. It's like, I'm going to have the bare minimum expectation, but if it's better than that, we're good. So.
Yeah. Well, let's just read this here. It says, this is why I definitely think I'm not going to like it. Think Sailor Moon meets Babysitter's Guide to Monster Hunting by the way of Star Wars, with a dash of Last Kids on Earth.
Yeah, no, I'm good.
Yeah, I mean...
And maybe someone's out there that really likes that, so by all means, I'm happy for you, but man, that does not sound very good to me, but...
Yeah.
Yeah, so
anyway, then we have Beware the Nameless, written by George Mann, which he wrote The Eye of Darkness, and this is the young adult novel. September 24th is when it will release. It will follow the events of Defy the Storm and a subplot in The Eye of Darkness. Aslan Rel, a fallen Jedi who survived an encounter with the Force-eating beasts, might be the Order's only hope to defeat them. And this will also will have a big part with Reath Silas, who is one of my favorites of from the High Republic series. And so this one I'm actually excited for. I like George Mann. I like Reath. The Aslan Rel stuff is really interesting, because he's this like Jedi that's kind of he was the Nameless messed him up, and now he's like kind of a. But he's not necessarily a Sith, but he's like a fallen Jedi,
like an anti-hero type
like,
thing. Yeah.
So
Interesting.
so it'll be interesting to see what goes down with that, but definitely excited about that one. The cover for it looks really cool. It's got the Nameless like surrounding them, and they got their lightsabers out. It's got Wreath there, and I'm not sure who the other one is there. Amadio.
Something like that. You're getting there.
Yeah, I'm getting there.
You're getting there.
So that looks really good. I'm excited for that one more so than the middle grade one, which I'll probably just like scan through.
Yeah,
Make sure I don't miss
I totally
anything.
get it. Yeah.
But Temptation of the Force, June 11th. That's the second wave adult novel. Very excited for that one because I think we are at a time where they're really gonna have to hit us hard with some stuff. So, and we've seen the cover for that one, and it's going to focus on. My understanding is it's going to focus on Avar and help me out, not Stellan, but
my favorite character who I casually can't remember the name of.
I really like him too. Wow. Okay. Don't know why. It's the third of the Elzar Man.
Yeah.
Elzar Man, and then also Vernestra is
Yeah.
going to feature more heavily in the adult novel for, I believe, the first time. I don't think she's really been featured too heavily in the adult novels.
Nice.
So that'll be cool. And she was the Padawan of Stellan. So
very cool.
So pretty cool. I'm excited for that.
Yeah. So moving on to our final news piece for this week. If you are ever a fan of the Star Wars comics, well, get excited because the hunt for Jedi is on in Marvel's Star Wars Inquisitors. We got a exclusive reveal recently. So yeah, Drew, tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so this is going to be a Marvel comic series. It's a mini series kicking off July 3rd. And Inquisitors follows the Empire's Jedi hunters as they narrow in on a new target, Tensu Run, a survivor of Order 66, looking to spread hope and rebuild the Jedi Order. He has won the attention of Darth Vader, who is determined to have Tensu killed at any cost. So anytime we have anything featuring the Inquisitors is always very interesting to me.
Yeah.
And I think this one, could give us a little more behind the scenes, I guess, on the Inquisitors. We've gotten some, but not a whole lot. And we know we're actually getting some behind the scenes on the Inquisitors with the Tales of the Empire, right?
Yeah,
is that
true.
what it's called? Tales of the Empire?
Yes.
Coming, May 4th, right?
Yeah, I think so.
So, this coming in July, I'm sure it'll have some interesting stories for us and learn more about the Inquisitors, which I always find intriguing because most of them are, fallen Jedi again.
Exactly.
So
yeah.
Just kind of interesting to see those stories play out, and I think most of them are that it shows in this picture are dead, but
right. So ultimately, it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. They all die.
But it does give you some context.
It does give you some context.
These characters. So
yeah, and I think there's a lot of mystery behind some of them still, and we never have gotten the story on how the Grand Inquisitor just came back, right?
Yeah, I don't.
Did it ever
so.
tell us how he? It didn't, right? Whenever in Kenobi, whenever he he gets killed.
Yeah, he falls off.
But then he comes back and he's
railing thing, and yeah.
So
I don't know. I don't think we've got that.
I've always been kind of interested in how that was supposed to have happened, but I don't think we've ever gotten an answer for that, other than just they fixed him.
Yeah, he's alive now. Yeah,
which maybe that's all they plan to say, but
and of course, if you look it up in Wikipedia, it says, however, due to his desire for revenge, the Pauwan was able to survive his wound and recover from Reva's attack. It's like, it's like, well, that's the classic answer.
Right.
How did Maul survive? Because of his desire for revenge. He was able to survive his attack.
It's amazing how
the desire for
your desire for revenge will allow you to live through anything,
like
but
any mortal wound.
but a broken heart, and you're a goner.
You're a goner. It's your will, right? If your will's not there, man, you're done. So.
Yes. I don't know why you didn't have a will for your children that you just just
yeah.
Anyway,
well, we'll move on for that.
George Lucas,
Come on, man.
I always thought that was just silly, but
yeah. Anyway. Okay. Moving on.
So we don't have any rumors.
Yeah.
Because all the secrets have been told.
Truly.
Everything's out. All
has been revealed.
All has been revealed. So I think, Braxton, that means that we're gonna go straight into you telling us about the latest episode of The Bad Batch.
Oh, you're gonna put me on the spot, huh?
Yeah, well, there's a very specific reason for that, and that reason is I haven't watched it.
Whoa! I see how it is.
Yeah, so this one came out. Honestly, I think it was because I honestly think the reason I haven't watched it is I was so let down by the fact that there was 3 more episodes I had to watch because I thought I was getting the finale because you told me it was the finale.
Calm down.
So when it wasn't, I was just like, I don't want to watch this. It's gonna be another like filler episode.
yeah, exactly. So I mean, we'll go into that. So of course, this is episode 13. It's called Into the Breach. I'm going to be honest with you guys. There's not a ton to talk about with this. And like fashion with a lot of stuff throughout Bad Batch, there's just these episodes where like basically what happens in the episode can be kind of equated to a couple scenes rather than a whole episode. But basically the premise of this episode, of course, is where we see there's a dual part, kind of like usual, where one part is where we see Omega doing her thing, and on the other side where we see a lot of the Bad Batch doing their thing, right? And in this episode, of course, we see Omega. She's now on Tantus. She's back in kind of the Empire's control, and she's in the containment area with those other Force-sensitive kids. And basically, they have some discussions, and they're talking and stuff, but basically the primary thing that we're getting out of this is that, they're trying to escape, right? Well, they don't know that that's even possible. Granted, the only escape attempt that has ever occurred by these children is that one kid just running out the main door. So
yeah,
so great planning there, guys. But of course, Omega being as foolhardy as usual, she's like, "No, we're getting out of here." And so basically, her tactic is to kind of find ways to work through the system. There's a part of the wall that opens up in their cells that where they put the blood samples, I believe. And basically she's like, I know there's a way. And so she's kind of like talking about that. And then we flash over, of course, to the Bad Batch, which is Hunter, Wrecker, oh my gosh, Sniper guy. I can't even think of his name. What? Crosshair. See, guys, I swear we're just having declining mental issues. It's not really that we don't like Star Wars. But and then of course though now they have Rampart, of course, Admiral Rampart, I think his name is. They broke him out of imperial custody. And so the plan is basically, hey, we're trying to get to Tantus, right? They're trying to get back to Tantus so we can rescue Omega. And the very long story made short is that Rampart breaks to him like, well, guys, to get to Tantus, it's not even just about having the coordinates. You have to first come from very specific coordinates outside of, a Empire location outside of Coruscant. And so basically what they said is, okay, well, what we're going to do is we're going to go there, hijack a ship, essentially, get the coordinates, etc., and we're going to go there, and we're going to go undercover. And so we see the Bad Batch along with Rampart going to this location. Rampart's dressed up in a captain's uniform, and the 3 stooges behind him are his his personal guard or whatever. And, I'm not going to get into all the details, but we just see them go through. There's some complications, like natural. And, of course, this time they have Echo with them. So I guess it's the 4 Musketeers rather than 3 Stooges. Ricka and Echo. Let's not get on that tangent. So basically they get through. They have the complications. So Echo eventually has to sneak on board the main ship and I can't remember what exactly he does, but he releases like their product or their sensors or something. And what they realize is that they're not going to have enough time to get the coordinates from that location and then go to Tantus. So basically, they're docking their ship on the bottom of that ship, Empire ship. So they do that in just the nick of time, and Echo got those sensors down in like the split second that they jumped to hyperspace, and hooray, they're headed towards Tantus. And then of course the second to last shot you see on Omega's side is her jerry rigging some sort of little tool and opens up the wall. So like I said, not a whole lot to talk about in this episode. Unfortunately, I wish there was more to say.
So basically, it's still just kind of leading into the official like escape mission or rescue, depending on which side of it you're looking at. But
basically, they end off like at the end of this episode. They end off exactly where they began, and in some marginal area. You know?
Wait, the Bad Batch ending an episode with where they started off? What?
Or they're just marginal progression. Yeah, I can't believe that happened. No, so anyway, like I said, I know that's kind of an anticlimactic end to this episode. I wish we had more to say, but unfortunately, it was not the finale, folks. It was this episode.
And we'll see what they do with the last two episodes. I honestly, I hope that they knock it out of the park and really make the ending worth the journey, I guess, so to speak.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know what they could do to convince me of that, but we'll see. But I think that there are more exciting things ahead. We have the Tales of the Empire, which I'm excited for. I think has a lot of potential to be good. I'm sorry if you hear my son in the background.
They definitely hear.
I'm pretty sure you can, because I feel like it's like coming straight through my headphones. So I apologize for that, but I Tales of the Empire looks really good, focusing on why did I set myself up for this failure? It's focusing on who is it focusing on?
I didn't hear what you said.
Tales of the Empire. Who are the two characters? Help me out.
What?
Barra Sophie.
Yeah, I can't remember the other one's name. I was trying to think of her name.
And
hold on.
Talzin. No, not Talzin. No.
I think we're on the right track there.
No. Talzin's the.
She's the mother.
Yeah, the mother.
The mutter.
Mutter Talzin.
Mutter Talzin. Yeah.
Mutter Talzin.
Come on.
Wow, I can't believe this. I know you guys always are just screaming at us, dude, screaming the name at us, like, you dummies.
You're making fun of our mental issues.
Yeah, they're like, it's blah, 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 you dummies. Why do you have a Star Wars podcast? You can't say any names.
Let's listen. We have the heart of Star Wars inside of us. We don't
we
always have the mind.
We had the mind.
Yeah,
just have the heart.
Yeah, you have the heart. Yeah,
and that's all that matters is love.
Love, exactly. Love finds a way.
Did you ever find it?
Morgan Elsbeth. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I knew that.
We were just testing.
We were just testing you guys. Yeah. Surprise! There was another quiz on top of
another trivia question.
But I think that's going to be really good. So I'm excited about that, and all of that releases on May 4th. So I think my daughter's birthday party is that day, but I'm going to squeeze it in somewhere and watch it. So. She's gonna have a Star Wars birthday party.
Huzzah! I mean,
because it's on May 4th. That's why she was actually gonna do Encanto.
My daughter was gonna have a Disney princess birthday, but I've convinced her to do Star Wars.
I didn't say a word. It was all her. Very, very proud.
Very nice. Very nice. Yeah, very proud. That's beautiful.
Making America great again.
I was not expecting you to pull out the mediocre Trump impression. Truly, we're gonna make America great again by teaching the children to love Star Wars.
All of our kids are gonna love Star Wars. I can't do it.
As a side note, this is not a political affirmation in one way or another what we believe. So anyway.
And then we also have The Acolyte, which is coming out in June.
Yes.
So really exciting things ahead for us, and then that'll go through June and July, and then August is the release of the game, and that's coming out. And mixed in through all that is High Republic Wave 2. So there's a lot of good Star Wars, like, just around the bend, so to speak.
For sure.
And then, there supposedly there's at least one more Star Wars series that we're going to get by the end of the year.
Mm-hmm.
It's been kind of iffy on what that looks like, or if maybe it's been delayed. But I think Skeleton Crew has to be around the corner. It can't be too far off. It's been kind of sitting there for a while now. So exciting things ahead, even if the Bad Batch doesn't get us very excited. There are things ahead that I think is going to be more interesting. And let's just be honest. We can tell that our listeners haven't been too excited either.
Yeah.
We can tell when you guys are a little more interactive with us.
Exactly.
And the Bad Batch is not that. So
Well,
we get it.
Naturally, Star Wars has always these states of flux. You know what I'm saying? Like, where there'll be times like this where there's just not much coming out, and what is coming out is just kind of just not that interesting. It's not that well written. And then all of a sudden they just start pumping out great shows and people are super interested. So why they can't balance that out a little bit more, I don't know. But guys, good news is the flux has changed one way or another, and there's some great things on the horizon. So anyway, also, we're gonna continue coming at you with these great news pieces and our commentary on what's coming out. Again, for the next 6 months, it may look a little bit different. It may be a little more sporadic, unfortunately, but it will keep coming.
Yeah, and give us some time, and we'll be able to probably tell you for sure on what that looks like. We just don't know yet until Braxton gets out there and he sees what kind of internet access he's going to have, and how often he's going to have that access and things of that nature. And once he knows that stuff, that's going to help us decide more on what our direction is going to be for the next 6 months. So yeah, it's just we'll post something when we kind of have that knowledge. That being said, our next actual episode may be a bit in that process, but whether I know some of you may want to know about the Bad Batch, so I might release something in a shorter format just to get something out there.
Yeah,
we'll see. But just stick around, especially to our Patreon members. We'll try to keep you updated, and stick to our Facebook, and that's always where you'll find any kind of update as well on Facebook there. But again,
100%.
we just thank you guys all for hanging out with us and sticking around all these years, and we don't plan on going anywhere. We love to do this together.
We put too much work into this to just let it go.
And honestly, as we've always said, the biggest thing about Jedi Eternal has always been, it's been an outlet for me and Braxton to hang out and talk about Star Wars.
Truly.
So for one of us not to be around is it's not really Jedi Eternal without both of us. And so
True.
If he can't be a part of it as much, then we will not have official episodes without the two of us. We've always decided on that. Any official numbered episode of our podcast includes both of us. So I don't know. We'll see what happens, but we do wish you the best of luck, Braxton. I know everybody listening wishes you the best of luck as well, and we hope that it's a good time for you, and that you come back looking like a sexy mountain man.
Yeah.
And
I can suddenly my body can learn how to grow a beard. That'd be great.
You come back with just a massive beard.
That'd be hilarious. I love that.
And we hope a grizzly doesn't eat you.
Well, that's a big thing I hope too. So anyway, I'll keep you guys posted on that front. If you don't hear from me, well, you know what happened. So, well, guys, we're going to go ahead and close out this episode. Hope you did enjoy that. So, like I said, before we close out completely, we do want to answer our trivia question. And the question to remind you is, what element was Han Solo frozen in? And that element is carbonite. So, hope you guys didn't cheat on that one. And
I thought it was blue milk.
What? No, that's not it. It's not it. I swear, it's not it. Anyway, yeah, it is Carbonite. So hope you guys got that. I hope you guys have been enjoying these trivia things too. I think it's just kind of a fun little addition. So hope you guys enjoyed that.
I think it's fun.
I think it's fun. I think it is too. Even if nobody else thinks it is, we think so. So
Yeah.
anyway, that's all that matters.
It's all that really matters.
All right,
We
but
don't care.
We
what
don't
you
care
think.
about you people. It's all about us. So anyway, to conclude though, guys, we want to thank everyone so much for your guys' continued support towards this podcast and for us. Again, like Drew's already said it, but I just want to reiterate too, we just love interacting with you guys. We love doing this. Again, if it was just the podcast for us, we probably would just get together and do something else, but the continued support from you guys and hearing from you guys and
Right.
your adoration and worship has just been so awesome. Just kidding. That is not what we hear, unfortunately. But if you want to do that, great. But
We won't stop you.
We do look forward to hearing from you. Like I said, reach out to us. Like I said, I know this is kind of the last maybe high quality episode for a while. Let us know what you thought about it. Let us know what you think. If you want what you want to hear maybe in the future, and what formats maybe you'd be interested in if we can't do this exactly every time. We'd love to hear from you on that. We also want to thank our good friends over at Galactic Empire for allowing us to use their music for our intro and outro, which is amazing. We love you guys over at Galactic Empire. But please like and follow us on Facebook and Instagram for weekly news, polls, discussions, and memes and more. And please also follow us on Spotify, YouTube, and Apple Podcasts. Leave a review if you would be so kind. But overall, we just thank you so much for listening, and join us next time, whenever that's going to be, for another episode of Jedi Eternal. Last but not least, may the Force be with you, and we thank you for joining the Jedi Eternal.